Alright, welcome to lesson 2-3. This is video 3, and we are going to continue off of the last video, and we're going to dive into rate of change for this video. Okay, so the slope, or rise over run, or change in y over change in x, or rate of increase, rate of decrease, steepness, cost per unit, speed, these are all synonyms for rate of change. The other thing that I like to have my students visualize is this right here, where the upper value, or the y's, the numerator on the fraction, is up or down, and the denominator is always going to be left or right. It's just going to tell you direction. Okay, so if it's a positive number, it'll tell you to move either up or to the right. If it's a negative number, it will either tell you to move to the left or down. The slope tells us how the graph changes and is located with the x variable. Slope can be interpreted as the difference in rise, or the y value, divided by the difference in run, the x value. Now, when graphing, you'll want to use this value to be in fraction form, not decimal form. It's not very helpful in decimal form. Okay, so let's fill these in over here. The numerator, the top number of the slope, tells us how much we're supposed to go up or down. If the number is positive, we're going to go up. If it's negative, we go down. If the bottom number is positive, we're going to move to the right. If it's negative, we're going to move to the left. So let's do this example here. The first thing I want to identify is the y-intercept. So this is my y-intercept. So we know that b is equal to 4. So I'm going to come over here on the y-axis, and I'm going to plot a point at 4. So that's my starting point. And then I want to look at my slope right here. My slope is negative 2 over 3. So you can think of this as rise over run. The other thing that I mentioned today in class is that you can think of this negative in front of this 2 is if the top number is negative, you can think of it as the fall. So if this is a negative 2, that means I'm going to go down 2 units. And then the 3, the positive 3, means I'm going to go right 3. 1, 2, 3 units. So I went down 2 and I went right 3. And I can do that again. Down 2, right 3. Okay, or I could start from here again, and I could go up 2 and left 3. Okay, so up 2 is a positive 2, and left 3 is a negative 3. Notice it doesn't matter if it's negative 2 over 3 or 2 over negative 3. That's the same value. One of them's negative. The top or the bottom one, you can flip those and change the sign, but you got to change the sign of both. So it wouldn't be okay to say negative 2 over negative 3. Just one of them would have to be negative. And once you're done doing that, you would need to connect your dots to form a line. And then draw an arrow at the end, because the arrow means that it just keeps going forever and ever. Okay, so you can fill this in your notes too. This is Mr. Slope Guy. So this first little part here, his left eye here, shows an eyebrow leaning to the right here, and that's a positive slope. This eye and eyebrow here is a negative slope, so it looks like his eye is closed. It looks like it's going downhill, so that's a negative slope. A line with a positive slope makes a horizontal line, so that's his mouth right here, and it looks like these are little dimples here that represent 0. So that's a horizontal line, just something to help you remember it. And then lastly, we have a vertical line, and that's whenever we have an undefined slope. Okay, so you've got a couple U-tries that you can try, and when you're done with that, I will see you in the next video.